I have a sister-in-law. She married my husband's brother, and she's a model. Her name's Abigail O'Neill. She started modelling at the age of 36, and they thought she was 17. She lives like this. She's never drunk, she's never smoked. Mind you, there's a bit of genetics there. She's very beautiful. But remember that genetics loads the gun, but lifestyle pulls the trigger. There are many beautiful women that by the age of getting into their 40s, the wrinkles and the cellulitis is coming, but not with this woman. She's incredibly beautiful. They said to her one day, "We don't want a 17-year-old for this photo shoot." She said, "I'm 40.
Most skincare on the market today is built around hiding wrinkles, not stopping them from forming in the first place. Creams and serums sit on the surface, smoothing things over temporarily, while the actual collagen your skin needs to stay firm keeps breaking down underneath. Pollution, sun damage, stress, and a diet full of processed food all speed up that breakdown, which is why skin starts sagging and losing its bounce years before it should. But there's a natural pairing, one simple herb combined with one common oil that can genuinely push your skin to produce more collagen instead of just papering over the problem. And it's been sitting in plain sight, used for generations, long before anyone slapped a fancy label and a high price tag on a jar of serum. So here's the real question. What if the answer to firmer, healthier skin wasn't a $40 bottle from a department store counter, but 2 ingredients you can combine yourself at home in under 5 minutes? That's exactly what we're covering today. How to mix castor oil with rosemary essential oil to build your own collagen-boosting serum. Why this specific combination works on a cellular level, and afterward, which foods are quietly destroying your collagen, and which ones actually help rebuild it. If you want skin that looks better next year instead of worse, this is the stuff that actually matters. Let's start with what's really happening underneath your skin as it ages, because this changes how you think about skincare completely. Your skin is your body's largest organ, built from 3 layers. The outermost, the epidermis, is your shield against the outside world. Below that sits the dermis, where the real action happens, holding your collagen, elastin, blood vessels, and the structural framework that keeps skin looking full and youthful. Below that is the hypodermis, a fatty layer that cushions everything above it. Collagen is the protein that acts like scaffolding, giving skin its shape and smoothness. Elastin lets skin stretch and snap back into place, the reason young skin bounces back instantly when pinched. As you age, a few things start working against you at once. Collagen naturally breaks down, producing fine lines and creases. Repeated sun exposure, especially sunburns, along with years of repeated facial expressions, wears down elastin, leading to sagging. On top of that, the fat layer deep in your skin thins out, removing the natural cushioning that once kept your face looking full. Together, that produces the classic loose, dry, wrinkled skin everyone associates with aging. Here's the part that should honestly frustrate you. The overwhelming majority of skincare products on shelves today are built to address none of this. They're formulated to make your skin look temporarily smoother or more hydrated, but they do almost nothing to rebuild the actual structure underneath. And that's not an accident. There's real financial incentive for companies to keep you buying the same product every single month instead of selling you something that fixes the root issue once and for all. The root issue, plainly stated, is that your skin isn't producing enough collagen, and most commercial products do nothing to activate the fibroblasts, the specialized cells responsible for actually manufacturing new collagen. That's the gap this natural pairing is designed to close. Let's break down why castor oil and rosemary essential oil work so well together, since each one handles a different part of the problem. Castor oil comes from pressing castor beans, and it's loaded with ricinoleic acid, a fatty acid known for strong anti-inflammatory and antibacterial effects. What makes it genuinely special for skin isn't just what's in it, it's how deeply it travels. Thanks to its unique fatty acid structure, castor oil penetrates past the surface and reaches the dermal layer, exactly where collagen production happens. Researchers classify castor oil as an emollient, meaning it fills the microscopic gaps between skin cells with fatty lipids, repairing your skin's protective barrier and boosting hydration, softness, and flexibility. It also improves how nutrients pass through cell membranes and how cells communicate, both of which show up as visibly smoother, healthier skin over time. But castor oil isn't just a moisturizer that happens to sink in deep. Research indicates its fatty acids may actually encourage collagen synthesis directly, helping skin hold onto elasticity longer. A study on traditional cold-pressed seed oils from South India found cold-pressed castor oil particularly rich in alpha, gamma, and delta tocopherols, compounds giving it strong antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, and anti-proliferative properties. Gamma tocopherol stood out most, a form of vitamin E known for being an especially powerful antioxidant. Put simply, castor oil isn't sitting on top of your skin doing surface level work. It's traveling deep, delivering nutrients, repairing the skin barrier, and helping trigger new collagen production from within. Now let's talk about the second half of this pairing, rosemary essential oil, because this one is doing something castor oil can't do on its own. Rosemary essential oil is produced through steam distillation of the plant's flowering tips, and it contains active compounds like eucalyptol, beta-pinene, and limonene. These compounds bring strong antioxidant and antimicrobial properties, and research has connected them to genuine benefits for a range of skin conditions. Here's why rosemary matters so much specifically for collagen. It stimulates circulation right at the surface of the skin, and that matters because your fibroblasts, the cells actually responsible for producing new collagen, need a steady supply of nutrients and oxygen delivered through the bloodstream to do their job efficiently. Multiple studies show rosemary essential oil improves both circulation and collagen output, which translates into firmer skin in sagging areas, smoother overall texture, and a more visible natural glow. In animal wound healing studies, rosemary essential oil was shown to improve collagen deposition, tied directly to increased fibroblast activity and noticeably faster wound closure. Research specifically on diabetic wounds in mice compared a rosemary water extract against the pure essential oil, and the essential oil consistently produced better healing results. The mechanism behind this comes down to how rosemary interacts with elastase enzymes, compounds produced by your skin, immune cells, and even certain bacteria that actively break down collagen and elastin over time. Rosemary's compounds inhibit those enzymes, effectively protecting the collagen and elastin you already have from premature breakdown, while simultaneously encouraging your fibroblasts to produce fresh collagen. Put these two together and you get a genuine 1-2 punch that neither ingredient can pull off alone. Castor oil handles delivery and repair, sinking deep into the dermis, restoring the skin barrier, and creating the ideal foundation for new collagen to form. Rosemary essential oil handles activation, boosting blood flow, feeding your fibroblasts with oxygen and nutrients, stimulating fresh collagen production, and defending your existing collagen from ongoing enzymatic breakdown. Together, you're not just moisturizing the surface, you're actively rebuilding the structural matrix underneath it. That's the real difference between covering up aging and actually reversing part of the process. So let's get into exactly how to make this yourself. You only need a small handful of ingredients. First, a high-quality cold-pressed castor oil, since quality genuinely matters here. Second, a potent rosemary essential oil. And third, entirely optional, a lighter carrier oil like jojoba or olive oil if you find pure castor oil too thick or heavy for your skin type. For the mixing ratio, combine 3 to 5 drops of rosemary essential oil into 1 tablespoon of castor oil. That gives you roughly a 1 to 2% dilution, which is considered safe and appropriate for daily use. Because castor oil is naturally thick and sticky, you may want to blend 1 tablespoon of it with 1 tablespoon of a lighter oil like olive oil first. Then add your rosemary drops afterward, since this improves how easily the finished mixture absorbs into your skin. A few safety notes worth taking seriously here. Essential oils are highly concentrated, and rosemary oil should never touch your skin undiluted. Always mix it into a carrier oil like castor oil before applying it, since applying it directly can cause irritation. Before using this mixture on your face for the first time, do a simple patch test, apply a small amount to your inner forearm, and wait 24 hours to confirm there's no reaction. That way, if something does react poorly, it's contained to a small, easily monitored area rather than your entire face. If you're pregnant or breastfeeding, rosemary essential oil specifically should be avoided in this concentrated form. Though eating rosemary as a whole herb, sprinkled into meals, remains perfectly fine and still delivers some of its antioxidant benefits without the concentrated risk. For storage, keep your finished mixture in an amber glass bottle, since this blocks light exposure and slows oxidation, preserving the potency of the antioxidants inside. Store the bottle somewhere cool and dark, away from direct sunlight, and handled properly, it should stay effective for several months. Now here's the actual application routine. Start by cleansing your face thoroughly to strip away surface oils and debris, letting the serum penetrate rather than sit on top of residue. Use a gentle, natural cleanser rather than anything harsh, then pat your face dry rather than rubbing. Next, take just 2 to 3 drops of your finished mixture, a little goes a long way, and warm it briefly between your fingertips before applying. Massage it in using upward, gentle strokes to encourage blood flow and lymphatic drainage, starting from the center of your face and working outward toward your hairline and jaw. This should feel like a gentle massage, not a scrub, and pay particular attention to areas showing the most fine lines, wrinkles, or sagging. Finally, let it fully absorb before applying anything else or heading to bed, which usually takes about 10 to 15 minutes. If applying at night, make sure it's absorbed before your head hits the pillow. Otherwise, you'll transfer oil straight onto your pillowcase. For best results, apply once or twice daily, ideally morning and night, though nighttime matters most since that's when skin naturally shifts into repair mode. The biggest factor in whether this works for you is consistency. Most people notice visible improvements in skin density and reduced fine lines after about 4 weeks of nightly use. This isn't an overnight fix because you're stimulating real cellular repair, not masking anything temporarily. Stay consistent and results follow. Here's something equally important to understand though, because you can use the best serum in the world and still be fighting a losing battle if your diet is actively destroying collagen at the same time. There are 7 specific foods that quietly damage your skin's collagen supply, and most people eat several of them regularly without realizing the connection. The first is refined sugar, and if you've spent any time paying attention to health content, you already know sugar has a bad reputation, and it's earned it. Excess sugar drives chronic inflammation throughout your body, contributing to insulin resistance, weight gain, and a long list of downstream issues. But specifically for your skin, that same inflammation breaks down both collagen and elastin over time. When blood sugar spikes too high too often, sugar molecules start binding to proteins circulating in your blood, forming compounds called advanced glycation end products. These compounds are exactly as damaging as their name suggests. They age your tissues, generate significant oxidative stress, and directly contribute to wrinkles and fine lines by degrading the collagen and elastin holding your skin together. The second food to watch is refined vegetable and seed oils. Things like canola, soybean, corn, safflower, cottonseed, peanut, and sunflower oil. These oils go through heavy industrial processing and refinement, and they're loaded with inflammatory omega-6 fatty acids that specifically damage skin tissue and the lining of your blood vessels. They're a significant contributor to acne, age spots, and wrinkles, and the problem gets worse when they're heated during cooking, since that process oxidizes them further, making them even more inflammatory. Third are artificial trans fats, created industrially by forcing hydrogen into liquid vegetable oils to make them more solid. Think margarine and partially hydrogenated oils. These show up hidden in a surprising number of everyday foods: packaged cookies, frozen pizza, cakes, crackers, pie crusts. Trans fats drive chronic inflammation throughout the body, including inflammation localized in the skin, and they've been linked to a higher risk of inflammatory skin conditions like eczema and rosacea. Fourth, fried foods, which are typically cooked in the same inflammatory seed oils already mentioned. Beyond the oil itself, regularly eating deep-fried food can impair circulation, disrupt gut health, and increase overall inflammation, all of which shows up on your skin as acne breakouts, swelling, and accelerated visible aging. Fifth is conventional dairy, which for many people acts as an inflammatory trigger capable of worsening acne, eczema, and skin rashes. Conventional dairy often carries added growth hormones and antibiotic residue that can throw off hormonal balance and disrupt gut health, both of which are closely tied to skin health. It's also worth knowing that roughly 75% of people worldwide and around 25% in the United States are lactose intolerant, with many more sensitive to the proteins casein and whey specifically, and both intolerance and sensitivity can trigger noticeable skin inflammation and flare-ups. Sixth is heavily processed chocolate. Despite marketing that positions chocolate as a health food, that claim only really applies to raw cacao, which is genuinely rich in antioxidants. The chocolate bars lining most store shelves are loaded with added sugar, trans fats, and other inflammatory ingredients that work directly against your skin rather than for it. Seventh, and closely related to the sugar problem, are heavily processed starchy foods, chips, pretzels, crackers, and similar snacks. Even though these don't taste sweet, they convert into sugar rapidly once digested, spiking insulin levels much like straight sugar would. They're also typically loaded with processed sodium, and the combination of high insulin and high sodium drives inflammation and water retention throughout the body, which shows up as visible puffiness, particularly around the eyes and face, while simultaneously dehydrating deeper skin layers. Cut back significantly on those 7 categories, and you remove a huge amount of the inflammatory load working against your skin every day. But it's not just about subtraction. There are specific foods you should be actively adding in to directly support collagen production, and most people never hear about these either. Start with vitamin C rich foods, since vitamin C is absolutely essential for collagen synthesis to occur at all. Citrus fruits like oranges, lemons, and limes are excellent sources, along with bell peppers, especially red ones, strawberries, kiwi, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, and dark leafy greens. Vitamin C also helps stabilize nitric oxide production, which improves circulation and ensures nutrients reach your skin more efficiently. Next, silica-rich foods, since silica plays a direct role in collagen formation and keeping connective tissue strong and intact. Good sources include cucumbers, particularly the skin, along with celery, carrots, leafy greens, and mineral water naturally high in silica content. Research shows silica helps strengthen both arterial walls and connective tissue throughout the entire body, skin included. Zinc-rich foods matter too, since zinc supports both collagen production and wound healing while also calming inflammation and supporting immune function. Strong sources include grass-fed meat, pasture-raised eggs, wild-caught fish, pumpkin seeds, and shellfish like oysters, and zinc's anti-inflammatory properties specifically help reduce acne and general skin inflammation. Proline-rich foods deserve attention as well, since proline is one of the core amino acid building blocks that collagen is literally made from. Bone broth is one of the richest sources available, packed with proline, glycine, and hydroxyproline together, and collagen peptide supplements offer a concentrated alternative. You'll also find proline in grass-fed meat, particularly cuts containing connective tissue, along with egg whites and gelatin, meaning you can even make homemade gelatin desserts using grass-fed beef gelatin as a genuinely useful source. Healthy fats round out the list, since your skin depends on fat for moisture elasticity and absorbing fat-soluble vitamins like A, E, and K. Extra virgin olive oil, avocados, wild-caught salmon and other fatty fish, grass-fed butter, coconut oil, and egg yolks are all excellent choices, along with chia seeds and pumpkin seeds. Omega-3 fatty acids specifically, found abundantly in wild-caught fish, help reduce inflammation throughout the body while keeping skin supple and hydrated. Antioxidant-rich foods matter enormously too, since they protect the collagen you already have from ongoing free radical damage. Berries like blueberries, raspberries, strawberries, and blackberries are excellent, alongside dark leafy greens like kale and arugula, herbs and spices including turmeric, ginger, rosemary and oregano, green tea, and dark chocolate that's at least 85% cacao, distinct from the heavily processed chocolate mentioned earlier as something to avoid. Finally, trace mineral-rich foods support collagen production and overall skin health in ways that are easy to overlook. Seaweed and sea vegetables, mineral water, unrefined salts like Himalayan pink salt or quality sea salt, and grass-fed meat, including organ meats and wild-caught fish, all supply essential building blocks your body needs to construct healthy skin structure from the ground up. One more strategy worth incorporating alongside all of this is intermittent fasting, which turns out to be one of the more powerful tools for skin health that most people completely overlook. Fasting activates a process called autophagy, essentially your body's built-in cellular cleanup system where old, damaged cells get broken down and recycled into new, healthy ones, skin cells included. Research shows autophagy boosts both collagen production and human growth hormone output, both of which are essential for maintaining youthful, resilient skin. Studies on intermittent fasting more broadly show it reduces inflammation, improves insulin sensitivity, and activates genes tied to longevity and cellular repair, all of which reinforce everything discussed above. For skin specifically, aim for a 16 to 18 hour daily fasting window, eating within a 6 to 8 hour window each day. In practice, that might look like finishing your last meal by 6 in the evening and not eating again until 10 in the morning or noon the following day. Throughout that fasting window, stay hydrated with plenty of water, and black coffee, herbal tea, or green tea are all fine to include as well. Put together, the serum handles repair and stimulation from the outside. The right foods stop collagen from being destroyed from the inside, and fasting adds a third layer by activating your body's own cellular renewal process. None of these pieces require expensive treatments or complicated routines, just consistency with ingredients and habits that have been available and effective for far longer than the skincare industry would like you to think about.